This video introduces the larger business owner or administrator to the Affordable Care Act and its impact on your business. If you have fewer than 50 full-time employees or the equivalent, please click the link at right to view the video Healthcare Reform and Small Business. If your business has more than 50 full-time employees, the law now requires you to offer coverage to all of your full-time employees who work 30 hours per week or more. And that coverage must meet two specific requirements. It must be affordable and it must offer minimum value. Let's look at how those words are defined for purposes of Obamacare. Affordable means that the employee's share of the cost of this coverage cannot exceed 9.5% of their annual pre-tax income. Here is an example of how this applies to you. Suppose you have a minimum wage worker, $9.19 per hour in Washington, less in other states, but $7.25 per hour according to federal law. Suppose this minimum wage worker is working for you 30 hours per week. Their annual pre-tax income is $14,336. Hence, their medical benefits can cost them no more than $1,361.96 per year, or $113.50 per month. If your current plan costs more than this, you will now be required by law to increase your contribution to the cost of the plan until this threshold is reached. An employer is required to offer at least one plan that is affordable for every employee, and employers will be assessed a penalty if plans offered are not affordable for all employees. Minimum value is defined as paying at least 60% of the allowable costs that are covered under your plan. The types of allowable costs will vary by plan and by the type of coverage and the specific benefits your insurance carrier will provide to you and other businesses in your industry. If you have more than 50 employees and do not offer health insurance to your employees, you will be subject to penalties. These may be substantial, depending upon the number of employees you have, but may in fact be less than you would pay an insurance carrier if you opted into a group plan. In general, the rule of thumb is that there is a $2,000 annual penalty for each employee who purchases coverage through the individual exchange. Your first 30 employees are exempted from this calculation. So, for example, if you have 100 employees and don't offer group medical coverage for your staff, or if your plan doesn't qualify as affordable or providing minimum value, and even one of your employees purchases coverage through the exchange and receives a federal subsidy, you will be penalized $2,000 per year for each of your 70 remaining employees who are not adequately covered. Remember, the first 30 employees are exempt from this calculation. This penalty applies whether the rest of your employees go through the exchange or not, incurring your business a potential penalty of up to $140,000 annually. Further, you are now required by law to provide notice to your employees of the existence of the individual exchange and its purpose. This means that even if you offer coverage to your employees, if even one employee opts out of your plan and purchases insurance on the exchanges and receives a federal subsidy, you are liable for even higher penalties. You could be assessed either $3,000 for each employee receiving a subsidy, or $2,000 for each of your full-time employees, whichever is less. If you already have an employee health plan in place as of March 23, 2010, it can be grandfathered in to the new system, but only if the sole changes in your plan are the adding or dropping of new or former employees. Further, there are multiple factors in the Obamacare plan which almost guarantee a rise in premiums. New burdens are being piled onto all healthcare insurance carriers. Burdens like disallowing exemptions for pre-existing conditions, the elimination of annual dollar limits on health coverage expenses, and the elimination of reimbursement for over-the-counter medications. There is also a new and direct and quickly rising tax on insurance carriers that amounts to $8.5 billion next year and rises to almost $15 billion within 5 years. There is no way the health insurance industry will be able to absorb all of these additional costs alone. Most of these increases are expected to be passed along to employers and to consumers. These are just a few of the potential impacts contained within the 3,000 pages of the Affordable Care Act. And Janet Troutwine, spokesperson for the National Association of Health Underwriters, has stated that for every page in the healthcare reform law, we are expecting an average of 60 pages of regulations. That means that you, as a business owner or administrator, can expect to be responsible for compliance with over 144,000 pages of new laws and regulations. At Cornerstone Financial Group, we have invested the time in training our representatives to be the real experts on Obamacare and its impacts on business. As Obamacare is rolled out across the country, new rules, guidelines, and procedures are constantly being published and revised. That means you can't afford to get this wrong. That's why Cornerstone Financial Group has set up WAPlanFinderHelp.com. We are officially licensed by the Washington State Insurance Board, and our exchange-certified professionals are all specially trained on the details of Obamacare. Just click the green button at the right to set an appointment to talk to one of our certified professionals. It's free, and your information is always secure. Thank you for watching this video, and we look forward to helping your business.